They call me Squirrel.
What's going on, Squirrel Squad? It's your boy, the Squirrel, and today I got for you some Victoria Wood live, 1997. This particular piece is The Nightmare of Spending Christmas with Others. This was sent over on the Patreon server by one of my patrons over there, Chris. It's Chris's week this week to do a couple picks, and so he sent me over a few here. It's from archive.org, so I'm not even sure if you're going to see it, but if not, the people on Patreon are going to love this, and I'm sure I'm going to too. Here, let's get into this. Let's just look. It's Victoria Wood. She's awesome. So let's watch some old stand-up comedy from Victoria Wood. This is about 26 years ago. Should be interesting and should be funny. Let's do it.
But this woman on the phone, she says to me, she says, now we've done a survey, she said, and we reckon that the three most stressful things that can happen to an adult are moving house, getting divorced, going to jail. Would you agree with that? And I said, no, you've missed out something that is much more stressful than any of those three, and that is spending Christmas with your own family. I said, that's much worse than going to jail. I mean, there's a point 3 days into a family Christmas when you're sitting watching Die Hard with your Auntie Kathleen, and it's been on for about 47 minutes. And she still hasn't got Bruce Willis sorted out from Alan Rickman. That's the point where you think to yourself, it must be quite nice to be on remand in strange ways. See, it wouldn't be so bad, I don't think, if Christmas started on Christmas Eve and stopped on Boxing Day, and that was the end of it. But it drags on for days now, doesn't it? And the run-up starts in about August. You can be in a department store in the middle of August looking for a sleeveless T-shirt, and the woman will say, oh no, that's all the tinsel department now. And before you know where you are, suddenly, it's the middle of November, the first Christmas cards come on the mat. Now, there's a rule with these Christmas cards. The earlier the card arrives, the more ugly and tasteless it will be, the more you will dislike the person who sent it. So the thing that crashes onto your mat around about November the 27th is always from some woman you met on a ferry 20 years ago, who you took an instant dislike to because she was sending in a funny anecdote to the Reader's Digest. You exchanged addresses, hers went in the bin straight away. She's been sending you a Christmas card every year ever since. Always the same sort of thing. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie. Brackets, remember the ferry? Question mark, exclamation mark, close brackets, smiley face in the O of Sophie. Me. Every year you get one. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie. 1 year, bit of excitement. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie and Tom. Brackets, he's gorgeous, exclamation mark, 2 smiley faces in the O's of gorgeous. Few years of those, Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie and Tom. Sophie and Tom, 1 year, bit more excitement. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie and Tom. Brackets, Mr. and Mrs. Appleby now. Yes, we did it. Please enjoy the enclosed. The enclosed being a lump of brown stuff with raisins in it. Might have been wedding cake before it went through the sorting office. A few years of those, Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie and Tom, and then 1 year, you're sort of slightly expecting this. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie, Tom, and the Sproglet. Brackets, due April the 18th, conceived on holiday in Tenby. 2 smiley faces in holiday, 1 in Tenby. And so by the following Christmas, you're braced, ready for the inevitable. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie, Tom, and Emily Bluebell Marcia. That's the year they've had the Christmas card specially printed with the photograph of the ugliest baby in England. The one that failed the audition for Gremlins. That's Emily Bluebell Marcia. That's the card you have to put at the back of the mantelpiece behind the big one from the Midland Bank. On and on it goes. There's no stopping them. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie, Tom, and Emily. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie, Tom, Emily, and baby Charlotte. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie, Tom, Emily, baby Charlotte, and Susan. Brackets, our lovely northern nanny. Smiley face in our lovely northern and nanny. That's the year they start putting in the newsletter.
Oh, the newsletter.
You know, the typed thing? The thing that isn't to anybody. Dear friends and family. Full of information you don't want to have. Breastfeeding has settled down now. My cracked nipple seems...
My wife's family does newsletters, and God bless them all, but I'm not into newsletters. We did it 1 year, I had to write it, and it's the weirdest thing because you have to write it as like you're talking about the family, you know? So you're writing about yourself, and you're talking, I'm like, Tony started a new job, and he really seems to like it. I'm like, this fucking sucks. But anyways, we did it 1 year, and then... that was that. That was the end of it.
On and on it goes. There's no stopping them. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie, Tom, Emily, Charlotte, and Susan. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie, Tom, Emily, Charlotte, Susan's left, the dog, the cooker, the new guinea pig. 1 year, November the 27th, huge, ugly card crashes onto the mat. Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie, Emily, and Charlotte. Oh, where's Tom? Not in the card, not in the envelope, checking the newsletter. Oh, here we are. The divorce. The divorce was rather stressful, but we are now back to normal, and Emily has just passed grade 3 bassoon with 122 points. I don't want to know. Next year, November the 28th, 3 enormous ugly cards crash onto the mat. The first one says, Merry Christmas, lots of love from Sophie, Emily, Charlotte, and Robin, brackets, man of the moment, close brackets. The next one says, Merry Christmas, lots of love from Tom, brackets, Sophie's ex, let's not lose touch, close brackets.
Fuck off, Tom.
And the third one says, Merry Christmas, lots of love from Susan, brackets, remember me? I used to work as a nanny for Sophie, you met on And then you're into December then. Christmas shopping's on your mind. You go around with little bits of paper in your handbag that say crackers, question mark. You think, what does that mean? I've got to get crackers, go crackers? What does that mean? Middle of December, men start panicking, don't they? Running into department stores, looking for the lingerie department. Trying to buy French knickers for their wives without actually looking at them, touching them, or saying the word knickers. Yes, that's right. That's about the right size. I'll have that. It's a fire extinguisher. Never mind, just wrap it up. I don't know why men feel they have to buy this sort of sexy underwear for their girlfriends, you know, which their girlfriends hate, you know, because the lace is all scratchy and the holes in your nipples are never in the same places. But every once in a while, you know, the girlfriends feel a bit guilty and they get it all out from the back of the drawer and they put it all on and it sits on the end of the bed trying to look alluring.
Oh, it's so funny.
And the man comes in and sees it all and thinks, oh, bloody hell, there goes the snooker then. See, what I don't understand about Christmas is why we carry on looking forward to it when we know what it's going to be like. It's like we never learn. I mean, if you drop a brick on your foot, you go, oh, bloody hell, that was painful. I won't do that again. Well, looking forward to Christmas is like dropping a brick on your foot one year, then a few months later going, do you know, I'm really looking forward to dropping a brick on my foot. See, I'm not talking about the Christmases that we spend with little children. I think that's different. I'm talking about the Christmases that we as adults feel obliged to spend with members of our own family, with our own parents. I mean, what is this invisible signal that goes out to normal, intelligent people in their 20s, 30s, 40s? This signal that says, you must leave the place where you live, where you have a life, where you have fun, where people respect you. You must leave that place. You must go back to the place where you spent some of the most miserable years of your life, where nobody takes you seriously, where the fact that you have 3 business degrees counts for nothing, where you'll be addressed as chunky chops throughout. But if there's anything worse than spending Christmas with your own family, it is spending Christmas with somebody else's family.
Yeah.
Because then not only will you be bored, miserable, irritable, tetchy, bloated, as you would be in your own home, you'll also be completely baffled. Oh yes, we always sing Little Donkey in 8-part harmony in the garden at midnight. I spent the worst Christmas I have ever spent a few years ago, just before I had children. I went up north with my friend Pauline, and she was going home to her mother, Mary, and she wanted a bit of moral support because she'd just got divorced. And so for the first year, she wasn't bringing home this lovely husband that they all adored. She was bringing home her boyfriend of 2 weeks standing. Italian, Fabrio, ponytail, leather trousers, kept scratching himself and winking. They'd been going out for 2 weeks. I think they'd been out of bed for 11 minutes during that fortnight. And we're all going up in the one car, she's driving. And I said to her, why are you taking him home? They're going to hate him. She said, well, I can't manage without him, sexually. In fact, we may have to stop on the way there. Oh, good. I thought, this is going to be a marvellous journey. She'd only just learned to drive since she got divorced. You know, she really had to think which is the brake, which is the accelerator. He's sitting there with steam rising from his leather trousers, exuding enough sex hormone to fell a hippopotamus. I'm on the back seat with all the presents. I've got a Maggi mix under one arm and 8 matching saucepans under the other. Huge plastic talking bus on me lap. Every time I breathe in, it goes, if you're happy and you know it, beep your horn, baby. It was a very long journey because she drove really slowly because she had to think about everything. Every time she wanted to change gear, she had to go, no, change gear, look in the mirror, take your hand off the steering wheel. He's edging nearer, obviously hoping she'll grab hold of the wrong knob altogether. Well, we get there, it's this boring town in the middle of Lancashire. And we get to their house, a huge semi in the middle of an avenue, and there's all things written on the gate. No hawkers, no circulars, no junk mail, no graffiti, no gypsies, no stiletto heels, no mentioning Rock Hudson, what a disappointment he turned out to be. So we ring the doorbell. She answers at the front door. Mary, got 65 years old, the mother. She stood there scanning us up and down like a barcode thing, going beep. Beep. Friend looks harmless. Beep. Pauline's put weight on. Beep. The eye-tag can go in the room with the ironing board. This being the mission of the 65-year-old mother all over the world, no unattached daughter is to have sexual intercourse on her premises over the Christmas period.
That's right.
Gay couples can be put in the same bedroom because the 65-year-old mother has not cottoned onto this at all. She thinks Gary and Anthony are just jolly good pals. And the fact that they have matching wedding rings and keep licking each other's earlobes has passed her by completely. So she lets us into the front hall, which is steaming hot, stinks of air freshener. There's little Christmas lights winking and blinking wherever you look. Every time you touch anything, it plays Silent Night at the speed of light. It's a bit like being in intensive care, only not so relaxing. Well, she introduces us to the rest of the family. They're all there. The family time bomb is ticking away. You've got the two sisters who hate each other, sister-in-law who didn't want to come. She's seething because she's had to put the baby to bed in a cot that looks like he come out of a Second World War air raid shelter. You've got the little boy Raymond. He hasn't been to sleep since about November the 6th. He's got his head stuck in a bucket of Quality Street. There's the bigger boy, he didn't want to come. He smuggled from school his precious copy of Massive Bosoms magazine. He's just desperate to get away on his own in a corner somewhere and have a bash at masturbating. And then there's the nutty neighbour, the one from across the road, the one who never comes out. She only comes out of the house once a year, and she only comes across the road to Mary's house, thinks everything in Mary's house is fantastic. Oh, Mary, I just love the way the skirting board is joined onto that wall at the bottom, isn't that good? Well, she shows us up to our bedroom, the second best back spare bedroom, decorated as only the 65-year-old mother can do it. The two single beds bolted to the floor so you can't push them together and have sex on them. So we're wrapping up the presents. I've got the talking bus to wrap, which is a bit of a nightmare, because wherever you put the sellotape, it goes, if you're happy and you know it, baby, on. So we're having a laugh about that, and Mary comes banging on the door. We have to go downstairs. This being the first rule of family Christmases, is that nobody is allowed to be upstairs in the second best back spare bedroom having a good time, when they could be downstairs in the living room getting on somebody's nerves. So down we go. Pauline is very pissed off when she sees that Fabio has gone to the pub with the rest of the men. This being the second rule of family Christmases, the men can go to the pub as long as they are back in time for the beginning of Mary Poppins on the television. But the women have to sit in the kitchen slashing crosses into the bottoms of Brussels sprouts. So we're all sitting in the kitchen, and there's a terrible atmosphere because none of us have been offered a drink. This being the third rule of family Christmases, no woman is offered a drink until the men have come back from the pub. Well, we're all desperate, you know. It's Christmas Eve, we're grown-up people. Normally by this point we'd be cracking open the champagne. There's nothing. We're hoovering up the insides of liqueur chocolates. Sniffing inside jars of fermented mincemeat. Nutty neighbour's all right, she's in the living room watching the television. Oh, Mary, wasn't it lucky the way the mantelpiece was right over the fireplace like that? Well, there's a terrible atmosphere in the kitchen anyway, because the two sisters don't speak. They fell out years ago. Something to do with the colouring book. I don't even know what. They don't speak. Sister-in-law is still seething from having to put the baby to bed with Mary watching, going, that's a funny way to hold him. No wonder he's not thriving. She's come out without her baby alarm, so she spends the whole evening going, shit, what do we do? So I'm trying to keep the conversation going, and I'm saying to this sister, what does your boyfriend do? And she's going, oh, he's in films. And Pauline's going, he is not in films. He's just been in a film. He has not been in a film. He got caught in a security video starting a fight in a shopping centre. Well, then she won't speak at all, this sister. She just sits there in a huff with this Christmas calorie book, copying out calories for Christmas, because she's on a diet, going, 2 macadamia nuts, 157 calories. 1 teaspoon brandy butter, 8 fat units. Well, they send the little boy Raymond to bed, and of course he can't go to bed. He keeps coming to the top of the staircase going, it's a Christmas day, yeah? Other little boy, desperate to get away with his copy of Massive Bosoms magazine, have a go at masturbating? No chance. Mary is on the case. Mary Poppins must come first. No boy is allowed to go upstairs and look at pictures of naked women when he could be downstairs in the living room looking at Julie Andrews in a nice white frock and a nice umbrella jumping about with Dick Van Dyke. And even if that gave you an orgasm, would you want to have it in front of your mother, your grandmother, and the nutty neighbour from across the road? Well, eventually, the men come back from the pub, we offered a drink, the turkey goes in under a low light, the sprouts go in under a flamethrower for 12 hours. Anything less and they run the risk of being edible. So we're all sat there watching Mary Poppins, and I'm thinking, I can't stand much more of this. Nutty neighbour creates a diversion. She decides to pay a visit to the new downstairs lavatory, which nobody's ever dared to go into because it's new. So she comes back out going, oh, Mary, the flush in that new lavatory is absolutely rhapsodic. Oh, Mary's on the alert. She didn't really want anybody to use that lavatory in case they made a smell. Now, there shouldn't be a smell because there's potpourri on top of the cistern, a pink thing and a blue thing wired to the inside of the rim, 2 air fresheners stuck to the light bulb. But she's in there. She's like the odour section of the SAS. She's there with the spray gun. We're coming in. Well, eventually, Mary Poppins finishes. I think, is that it? Can we go to bed? No, we can't go to bed. Pauline and Fabio are getting very twitchy by this time because they haven't had sex now for 11 hours. This is the longest that Fabio has gone without sex since he was 13. Well, they switch off the television. Somebody gets out the Monopoly. Somebody else gets out a photograph album. Somebody else puts the radio on, Radio 2, carol concert. And from then on, in the room, somebody is either going, hey, this is a laugh, you have won 3rd prize in a beauty contest. Or going, oh, do you remember that jacket? Or singing Little Donkey. Or struggling unsuccessfully with trapped wind. Well, this happens at Christmas, doesn't it? You get 8 large people stuffed into 4 small armchairs. Let them loose on the Brazil nuts. So we're all sat there. She's there with the Christmas calorie book. 1 bag of crisps, 154 calories. Sister-in-law, shh. That's right. Rain is still running out. Is it Christmas Day yet? I think, well, there's no point me trying to play Monopoly with people who've played it every Christmas for the last 35 years. Because you just keep putting your foot in it, don't you? Can I be the racing car? Oh, no, Mary's always the racing car. Yeah. And Nora from across the road is always the boot. Oh, sorry. Oh, but we don't put a hotel on Park Lane.
I like to be the iron, just saying.
Well, why not? Well, we just don't. It's a tradition. So I end up looking at the photograph album, which is one of these really boring ones full of very old black and white photographs of people standing next to their own cars. That all have to be explained. Now, that's Uncle Alan's Morris. Excuse me. Little donkey, a little donkey. It's a Christmas Day, yes. 1 mince pie, 72 calories. Which one was I again? Am I the boot? I'm the boot. I'm the boot. That's right. That's our first Morris Traveller. I'm sorry about that. On the dusty road. It's a Christmas Day, yes. Which one was I again? The boot. The boot. I'm the boot. That's right. That's our second Cortina. I'm very sorry about that. Carry Mary. It's a Christmas Day, yeah? Which one was I again? The frigging boots! Well, eventually the clock strikes midnight. I think that's it. Yes, can we go to bed? Yes, Christmas Eve is over. So we all troop off upstairs. Pauline and Fabio are giving each other frantic eye signals that mean I will meet you for oral sex in 25 minutes. I'm thinking, please God, the sister doesn't find out. She'll be telling her how many calories there are in it. So we all troop off up to bed. Nutty neighbour goes home, passes out in the road drunk. Well, she has had 3 sweet sherries, and when that ran out, 3 dry sherries with Hermesitas in them.
Oh, sweet sherries. That's Isa's drink.
So she conks out in the middle of the road drunk, and because she's wearing a cardigan the colour of tarmac, nobody notices. They just drive over very slowly, thinking she's a speed bump. Traffic's quiet tonight. So we all troop off upstairs, and me and Pauline, we have to wait for everybody else to go to bed so that we can go around putting the Christmas presents outside the bedroom doors. It's a tradition. I'm there with me bus. Be happy and you know it. Beep, beep, hot, beep, beep. So by the time I get to bed, it's about 1:30. So I'm lying there and I'm desperate to get to sleep, thinking 1:30. I think, well, nobody will come in much before 8:30, so that's 7 hours. That's 7 hours sleep. That's all right. If I get 7 hours sleep, I'll be all right. I'll be able to cope. 7 hours sleep, I'll be okay. Suddenly, I hear the door open. Well, I can smell Calvin Klein. And I can hear the creaking of leather trousers. So I figure it's not Santa. And I think, oh, I can't lie here and listen while they have sex. I've got to go to sleep. So I said to him, Fabio, no. Go out. Go and do something else. Go and take your mind off it. Go and have a cold shower. Go and have a black coffee. Go and watch something else with Dick Van Dyke in it. Get her. So I'm lying there, and it's really difficult to get back to sleep. It's about 2:30, but I think 2:30. I think, well, nobody will come in before 8:30. That's 6 hours. That's six hours sleep. That's all right. If I get 6 hours sleep, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Suddenly, the door bursts open. Top light comes on. Auntie Pauline, look what Father Christmas brung me. If you're happy and you know it, beep your horn, baby. Well, I'm just about to wrench the batteries out of it. In comes Mary, fully dressed in the doorway with a tray of tea. Good morning.
3 a.m.
It's 2:45. But yes, didn't Pauline tell you? We always open our presents at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a tradition.
That is the end of the bit. I was told that the bit ends right at 1:25:14. We are at 1:25:14, so I'm going to move back over to the big screen. That was great. That was really good. The sound's a little off on this. I don't think I'm going to make it to YouTube anyway. I could hear it all just fine, but funny. It's so weird, like, listening to it. Situational comedy, especially, like, people telling stories about things that have happened in their past. It's so, the comedy is so great when they put you in that situation and you're listening to it and you're like, we've all been there, at least parts of it. Like, there's certain parts of that ring so true and things that I've experienced so that we've all done. It's crazy. Victoria Wood, thank you so much, Chris. I appreciated that a lot. That was a really good piece, and I'm glad that we got to watch it over here on Patreon. Maybe on YouTube, probably not, but that's okay. It really is. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was great. I got that and still game tonight. That's nice. I'm going to go get a couple more things done and then start doing some editing and call it a night. You guys be good, all right? Take care. Squirrel out.